Hello,
Hello.
everyone. Good morning again from my end, and a happy, thankful, thriving Thursday. Thank you guys so much for always being here. It's always such a happy moment for me to know that when I open the screen, there is at least one, two, three, or four people on the other side of the globe because we are the globe. One global movement is the globe. If we do not embrace it in that manner, we will not be able to reach every child, every woman, and every young person. And so thank you guys so much. And I know that more people are still to come. Even if they don't, they're always going to YouTube to watch, because eventually we are going to be broadcasting from a station, to the whole world. And by the grace of God, if we can have those stations almost everywhere in the world where every child can go there and let us know about them, that would be the best thing. For it's just like transportation, getting the roads fixed and well constructed, that children will be able to walk or drive or go to school. So let us keep trying, and building this foundation is so paramount. So thank you guys so much again for being here. And we want to always show our gratitude to the one that brought us here together, and no other person than Mr. Ashmufare, because this is so many global families are around, but this one is so special to me because of the manner in which it is being constructed and built and brought together, with the human being, with the child in the center. That is the most important thing for me, because there's no need bringing a family together only for the purpose of I don't want to say money, for the purpose of gaining resources, for the purpose of personal gain, power, and greed. That's not what Mr. Ashmufara is all about, and we all know that. But it is left for us to bring our mindset to that place, because I know that a lot of us here in Unpassive are not yet in that mindset, to know that we are here for a purpose, to know that you are invited to join on Passive, so that together we can transform the world, uplifting every child, every young person, every woman from the heart. A lot of us have not yet gotten that. We are in here still for greed, still for power, and the other things that we are trying to correct, because we are the correction to the corruption. And a lot of us are thinking of corruption only in terms of money or government corruption. Corruption starts with us. It really does. It starts from the home. If a child is misbehaving out there, uh, whether the mother or the father was around to raise that child or not, some of us some of us adults have contributed to the way that that child is being treated, because we exclude children. We don't give them choices. We make them feel that they don't belong. We make them feel that because you are of a certain color, you don't belong, or you are poor, you come from a poor family, you don't belong. We do that right in our own families, in our own communities. Because what is happening out there is as a result of the fact that it started from home. And therefore, it started with us, the parents, the adults around these children. And no child grows up to hate. You see, every child is smiling. When they are born, they're smiling. When they are toddlers, they want to play with other children. They love, they want to hug other people. You see a child being so sympathetic towards another child, or towards the parents, or adults. Until
Yes.
the child grows up, we start corrupting their mindset, and now they tend to be some kind of, I don't want to call the name, but we did it. how
Yes.
how would you think that somebody that is breathing like you, a child that is just breathing like you, is walking, how would you think that that child should be treated differently from how
Yes.
you treat yourself and your own children? This
Mm-hmm.
is where we are in the world, because we caused it for ourselves. We
Yeah.
started it. And the good news is that we can correct all of this. We
Yeah.
have given second chances by
Yes.
Almighty God. And the
Yeah.
second chances come not directly from God, directly from the people around us,
Mm-hmm.
like Mr. Ash, Father, who brought us together, like all of us here who are the brand ambassadors. So this is very, very important. And I really place so much emphasis on these things, because our kids are confused. Some of them, they are dying in silence. They cannot voice out their challenges because of how we put them down, we label them, we call them names, and we think that they don't belong. Every child belongs. Every young person belongs. Every mother belongs. Because until we do this, we will continue to see the social challenges that are going on in the world. That is none of these children's making. It is our own making. All of us, including me, all of us here have a role to play, and we can make that better. And that is why we are here in One Global Movement, to make these things better. And so this topic today is a very important topic. I love it. I love it. I love it. Somebody said, a hungry child is an angry child. And I know that I'm thinking that is Bob Marley, our legendary Bob Marley, who said, a hungry man is an angry man. And I said, a hungry child is an angry child, because it is true. If we don't eat, we will not be comfortable to do anything. We will not be able to focus on anything. And if you eat, and eating the right food is most important, because if we don't eat the right food, we are contaminating our system. Pretty soon, we begin to think differently. We begin to act differently, and we begin to just be like zombies, walking around like zombies. And that's not what we want. We want to make sure. Sometimes any good thing is costly, whether we like it or not. It is. But when you invest in a good thing, you have invested in generations to come. So that is the most important thing here. We're not looking about the cost, but we're looking about how. How can I do this? How can I do this? And in order to do anything that we are doing in life, we must, first of all, have that value. Recognize the value that we were born with. Recognize the greatness that we were born with. Because all of us were born with something great. Because of one reason or the other, or maybe because of societal changes, or maybe because of all of these craziness that is going on, we don't seem to see the greatness within us. And therefore, we are unable to see that greatness within our own children as well. And so I am calling on each and every individual here to dig deep down in yourself to see the greatness within you. Because when you see that, you are able to extend that to every child and every other person out there. We need to. And knowing whose you are, because you were created with greatness. Nobody can tell you otherwise, and you sit there. But I know that sometimes there is nothing we can do, because we are being forced into situations that we cannot escape. We are being forced. And when you force somebody, it means that you are beating, you're oppressing, or you're doing things that are not good. And these things are inside our homes. You remember my story? It is there, and it started with my own biological father. It doesn't even just start out there. The outside, like there's a saying in my culture that when the home gives it, the outside will take it. That is so true. When the home gives it, the outside will take it. What you're giving to your child, what you're investing in your child, whether it is positive or negative, that is exactly what you're giving into the world. That is the way the world is going to see you. That's the way the world is going to see your own child. And therefore, we want to start from the home, and home is us. We, the parents, we, the adults, we, the caregivers of these children. It starts with us. There is no pretense about this. We cannot pretend about this at all. If you pretend, you're wasting your own life, and therefore you're wasting the life of your own child or your own children. And for me, I don't want that at all for any child, let alone my own biological son and the 9 children that I adopted. So I have 10 children, but now not only 10, I have the whole world. Now we have the whole world, So that's what we've been called to do. And you remember, God says, train these children the way they should go, so that when they are old, they would never depart from these ways. And if you don't know, we don't know everything. I don't know everything. Sister Yvonne doesn't know everything. We all don't. But if we come together with that humility, with that spirit of giving a chance to somebody to try, and with that spirit of encouragement, with that spirit of love, with that spirit of believing that we were all created in the same image by Almighty God, that there is only one race, which is the human race. The rest of the other races, it's man-made, it's created. Yes. And that is the most important thing. If you know these things, then you will you will begin to. 1 second here. There is this call from this one global movement person in Cameroon, please.
Mm-hmm.
Hello? Okay, it's ended. I'm not even going to do it now. Let me turn it off. Okay, now he got, I think he got internet because it's so difficult, but that's okay. I'll get back to him. Thank you so much.
Okay. All
Thank you for
right.
letting me disturb that way. So,
Mm-hmm.
this is what we are talking about. We are placing so much emphasis on food, the quality, and other things that come with food because food is life, food is bonding, food is everything, the right kind of food. And therefore, talking about food sovereignty is so important to all of us. And let us listen so well and contribute. And if you have any questions, if you cannot ask them here, please reach back to us. If we don't know, we will contact people that know. I am teaching food sovereignty from the standpoint of how I was raised and how I grew up. So that is what I am doing here because we always have to learn. Remember yesterday we talked about this skip the school of hard knocks and learn from those that did it before you, right? And it's the same thing here with me. I learned from my mom and my grandmother and the people in my community. And I'm still learning, even right here in the United States, from other people that know better than me in terms of agriculture and food sovereignty. So, now we are in the Mantle of Hope Revolution, part 255. Global food sovereignty might be a solution to the food crisis in the world. I'm going to read it again. Global food sovereignty might be a solution to the food crisis in the world. What are your thoughts? What do you think? What do you think? Write your answers there. We need to contribute to one another because remember, food sovereignty is different in every area in the world. Don't be fooled. It's different according to the customs and traditions, according to the weather, according to the soil, according to a lot of things. So it is so important that we contribute according to the way that we do it, the way that we learn it, the way that we see it in our own environment. So now, I have to say this true food sovereignty is rooted in unity, a world where communities have the power to cultivate, share, and sustain their own resources. Together, we create abundance for all. And global food sovereignty is not just about feeding bodies. It's not just about feeding a child or a baby
Mm-hmm.
or feeding other people. It's about nurturing independence, being powerful, nurturing independence, self reliance, and dignity. When we empower communities to grow their own food, we plant the seeds of hope and resilience in every child, every young person, every woman, and every family. To achieve food sovereignty is to honor the earth and
Mm-hmm.
other. We must honor the earth. Remember, onto the soil we were made, and that is the earth. And onto that same soil and earth we shall return. And therefore it is our home. So we must respect it. To achieve food sovereignty is to honor the earth and each other. It's a movement of hands and hearts
Yes.
joining to ensure every plate, I have my bowl here, bowl of salad, every plate is filled with justice, with
Yes.
health and sustainability.
Mm-hmm.
And the journey to global food sovereignty begins with respect for the land. Respect the land. And
Mm-hmm.
what does that mean? When you respect the land, you know you don't go and seize things from people that don't belong to you. I see that in my village where people they go and seize people's land. It doesn't belong to them. Let alone international seizing of property and resources and rights. It is there. And then it is all about reverence for tradition, respect for each other's tradition and way of life because we didn't create those things. God created those different forms and ways of life and a shared commitment to protect our natural resources for generations to come. We are enjoying those resources today, right? But
Mhm.
what if the people that came before us did not protect those resources, did not respect them and use the earth well? What if they didn't do that? We would have been here. Will we be doing what we are doing here today? No. So we need to respect it, respect the land, respect the resources, and do not take where you never sowed. Don't go and reap where you never sowed. I'm saying this from experience because I see it in my village where I was born. People want to reap where they never sowed. And when you do that, you're causing chaos for the children. You're causing chaos for young people and women. You're causing confusion. You're bringing them, you giving them unnecessary mental illness. You are making those kids to think that this life is a war. I have to fight for everything. I have to take things that I did not work for. That's not what food sovereignty is. Respect the earth, respect the soil, respect all the natural resources. And if you want something, go the right way and get it. The right way and get it, because that is what the scripture says. And so when we advocate for food sovereignty, we advocate for a world where no one goes hungry, no child, no young person goes hungry, where each harvest brings joy. You see me when I was with the watermelons, I was happy all over the place. And I will show you some other things here. I'm always so happy with those things because they bring joy. I know that I'm feeding some mouths, hungry stomachs. I am really doing the best that I can do. And when you do this, these children see, they feel it, and now they want to take action. You should watch them coming to the farm here. And some of them come here and help. They really do. They come here and they help. I'm like, wow. Some of them, I say, can I talk to your parents first? They actually go and bring their parents. And I talk to them. You see, that's what we are talking about. You know, you don't just ask a child, because that might be considered as child labor. You have to have the parents involved before you do that, right? So, and where communities thrive. When we advocate for food sovereignty, we advocate for a world where no one goes to bed hungry, no child goes to bed hungry, where each harvest brings joy, and where communities thrive with the freedom to feed themselves and extend a hand to the other person who cannot do it for themselves. Sovereignty over our food is sovereignty over our future. That is so true. That is so true. If you think about the story of the Indian bamboo, that is being planted, and, uh, and it takes 5 years to even shoot off the ground. And the person that understands that concept of the Indian bamboo is so happy doing what the person is doing. Remember when this person was watering and doing everything, they think it's not shooting. People will pass by and say, "Oh, what are you wasting your time there? Nothing is growing and you keep doing that. Look, I have harvested these 3 times and you're still there, and the 4th time and the 5th time and you're still there." The person that understands food sovereignty God way will not waver. They will stick to their purpose and they keep doing it. So he was doing it. 5 years, exactly 5 years, it shoots off the ground 90 feet and it continues to grow. And then it takes over all the entire village. This is what we mean by food sovereignty. You nurture it and you know that it's going to stay for generations. You're not just doing it for you and your family for now. What about your grandchildren? What about your great children? What about up to 1 million generations? This is what we are talking about. And when we do this, we are also investing in building generational wealth, helping these kids build generational wealth. I learned a lot from my grandmother and my mom and people around the village. I planted plums of trees and orchard. It's still there. That is what is called investing in generations to come. Food sovereignty is not just for now. And people still go there, they go and eat. And someday I will show you my village from a waterfall. It's called the Abbey Waterfall, exactly where I was born. Beautiful. Things grow there, as opposed to what the world would tell you. Don't go here, don't go there, don't go there. This place is bad. Don't listen. Do your research and travel the world and learn about other cultures, so that you will learn to respect their way of eating, their way of life, their way of growing food. You will appreciate that a lot. So, global food sovereignty means freedom, freedom from dependency, from hunger, and from exploitation. Let's unite to create a world where every child, every mother, every father, everyone has access to healthy, homegrown food from the backyard to the kitchen, and from the kitchen to the table for family time dinner together. This is when we do this, I'm telling you, you living the best life of all. I do it because I was born that way. All our vegetables and fruit were right behind our home. You don't have to go further away. You don't eat a meal without vegetable. It's always there. Even during the, we call it the dry season, the like summer, they call it summer, but we call it the dry season. We water the plants and they do so well. And we have
Mm-hmm.
methods that we've put in place that will continue to make sure that we are harvesting. You do it all year round. You're happy, you're healthy. If I tell you that I've never been sick in my life, you won't believe it.
I believe it.
Because
I have to interrupt you right there because what you just said about vegetables, there are so many in the people in the world who do not understand and believe that people in the African continent has that as part of their meal. They think
Mhm.
it's yams and stuff. They do not know how well-rounded a meal can be because nobody spreads that around. You always see them serving you
Uh-huh.
something that's not healthy. But
Yes.
you have vegetables and every green thing there too. It can just be grown the right way. That's it.
It is there. Everything
Yes,
is there.
I
Even in
know.
the world goes there and harvests things from the natural forest and those that are planted, and they use that to produce medicine.
That's
And it
right.
is true. I have
Yes,
a lot. We have natural roots. I don't know the English name for it, but it's so
yes, I
meaty.
know. I
We
know.
call
Yeah.
it fugangang. Fugangang.
Yeah.
And this
Yes.
is natural to anybody from the black family. It is
Yes.
natural. A lot of those things are natural because that's the way they grow up.
That's
That's
right.
the way that we were born. That's why you see some of the descendants of the black people, they still practice that because that's in their blood. It's in their system.
Yes.
It's
And it
like the
works.
mantle.
It
It's the
works.
mantle
It
of,
works. It
yes,
works.
it
Yes.
works. So this
Yes.
fugangang, it's so minty, so good. And
Ah,
when you don't have the appetite to eat, you just go get it. There's little root like this. You wash it. You just chew it. You love it. It's so yummy. And
oh
before you know,
wow.
you start gobbling down food, and you know, and a lot of great things. I wish I can grow all of those things here, but I
I
can't.
know. I
And
know.
so, and that's why we're opening farms everywhere, going according to the region, how they do their farming, in
Exactly.
order to really help with food sovereignty for all our children and young people. So this
This
is
is why this topic is so impactful because what you just said, not everywhere will grow everything, but if we collaborate, if we just think of ourselves as one whole, as you say,
yes.
brothers and sisters, then you have this and I have that, and we swap and we just live healthily. There's no need to go and own everything because it
No,
doesn't work.
no, it doesn't work. You can never. You own everything. You're causing stress and mental health for yourself because it
Exactly.
doesn't work. Like you
It
said,
does
it
not work.
does
Yeah,
not
it
work. It
does
has
not work.
never worked. That is why we have different gifts and different talents, and that is
Yes.
why we have different cultures, different ways of eating, different ways of dressing.
Yes.
There
Yes.
is no African meal if from where I come from or the entire of Africa that you eat without vegetable fruits.
There you
You
go.
don't have
There
to
you
go and
go.
buy. You don't have to go and if you plant it. And I have plums of trees, I have orchards, I have things that people are still benefiting from
There
there
you
right
go.
now.
Yeah.
And kids will go when they go to the village, they take pictures and say, "Hey, I'm here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this." I am really happy with that because
Of
they are
course.
making sure that these continue. They build upon that and it continues. If we can just do that, just plant an orchard and
I
invite these
know. I
children from
know.
different schools. It
I
doesn't
know.
matter. Children
It,
want it. They want it. I've taken my son when he was little to a lot of farms here. Come and see these kids tumbling in the mud and running after the chickens and the pigs and doing things. This is what we mean. This is life. This is
yeah,
like we see all those animals in the scriptures, and they are there for a reason.
they are.
It's part of food sovereignty. And please, read your scriptures. I'm not preaching anything, but that is a book like any other book. Read it over and over. Don't just apply knowledge that you've not invested in, you've not read. Read it Every time I read, it'll be like, oh wow, I can't believe I didn't discover this the first time that or the 10th time
Yeah,
that I read
yeah,
it. So
yeah.
it's so important that way because it's part of food sovereignty. You
It
will know
is.
why
It
certain
is.
animals, certain plants, certain vegetables they work for a reason. Even the
Yeah.
African baobab, the African baobab tree.
Yes.
I'm saying the
Yes.
thing that I know.
Yes.
The African baobab serves multiple purposes and it heals. It really heals. Water, it collects water and in desert areas. Imagine it grows in the desert, it collects water, and they use it to treat a lot of ailments that disturbs people. You see people when they go, they just cut a hole or a tap. You see how people are so happy. The water is there. It's like a blessing and something. So please, and I urge each and everyone, come with us here. Let's travel the world through one global movement, and you discover your world. It was given
Yeah.
to you God to discover and do the right. So imagine a world. Just imagine for a moment a world where food is grown by the hands of people. Do you know you can go outside, just get the soil, so make sure that there are no needles or something in there. That's why we cannot dispose things anyhow. We have to recycle, reuse, reduce. You don't just throw things anyhow. Just go out. It's therapy. Just knead the soil in between your hands. Take off your shoes and walk on the grass or on you are healing yourself of a lot of things. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
try that, but make sure that your environment doesn't have nails or some other things.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
because it's not good for the children. It's not good for all of us. You know, we don't want you to be taking not anesthesia, the
Okay.
tetanus things just
Personal shots. Yes. Yes.
so
Yes. Yes.
we want you to do that. So imagine, just imagine for yourself a world where food is grown by the hands of people. I
Yeah.
grow it. You see me here. When I
Beside.
use my example, because that's the way that I was brought up. You don't just talk, you do it.
You
You
do
do,
it.
you
Yes.
know.
Yes.
Just imagine, grown by the hands of people for the people. You growing this food with your hands, the hands of people for the people, because that's the way it's supposed to be. Just
Yes.
imagine that.
Yeah.
And together, under one global movement, we can make a global food sovereignty a reality.
We can.
And we are
Absolutely.
already doing that anyway. We're doing that, even though we're still building this foundation, but we are building the foundation with action. We're not just
Mm-hmm.
talking. And a world where every meal celebrates culture, every meal celebrates dignity, every meal celebrates honesty. Every
Yes.
meal celebrates respect.
Respect.
Every meal celebrates beauty. And every meal
Yes.
celebrates
Yes.
sustainability.
Yes. Yes.
Imagine that. I love this because without food sovereignty, what my mom and my grandmother were doing to educate me, and the parents of the village, I would not have been educated. We had farms of all kinds, fish farming. You have cattle, very healthy cattle that feed only on grass alone and nothing,
Mm-hmm.
not chemicals. Our food is grown organically. Our food is grown as a community. We come together and we work together. The hands that touch the soil, the hands that need the soil, and the hands that sow the seeds for the
Mm-hmm.
people. It's what is called food sovereignty. And we need to
Mm-hmm.
respect this, and we need to give people, our children and everyone, the opportunity to grow things according to their culture, according to their environment, according
Yes.
to their energy, and according to how they can do it, regardless of whether they own the land or not. If they're renting it, that's good. But if they own their land, we should not go to try to push these people away from their land. And then therefore we are hurting these children. Remember, when you hurt a child in the United States, you're hurting a child in Cameroon.
Yeah. Everywhere.
You hurt
Yes.
a child in one place in the world, you are hurting children everywhere. And this is
Absolutely.
what we are here. If we do this, you will be living your paradise is right here. It's not up there. Let us leave that paradise here for our children. So,
Yep.
what is global food sovereignty according to you? So, sister, let's do our thing just like we are doing. What does global food sovereignty mean to you? Global food sovereignty to me is the concept that communities, villages, towns, cities, And nations should have the right and ability to control their own food systems,
Yes.
including how food is produced, how it is distributed, and consumed. This
Mm-hmm.
approach emphasizes local, sustainable, and culturally appropriate food sources with the
Yes.
goal of reducing reliance on large scale industrial agriculture, protecting biodiversity, and
Absolutely.
supporting small scale farmers. This is one of the things that One Global Movement is going to be doing. We're going to go into communities. We see what these parents are doing. We see how we can support them. Just imagine supporting a small scale farmer with seeds, free seeds. So they
Mm-hmm.
will use the money that they were supposed to use to buy those seeds to do other things, maybe to pay labor, really paying the labor well, not exploiting labor, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And imagine we say, you know what, me, because if I'm going to help anybody, I'll be right there doing it first, then I can
Mm-hmm.
help. And then we,
Mm-hmm.
we make a plan to see how they can increase their yield, their harvest, and all of those things. That's what we're going to be doing, not just giving money and leaving them to grow things around for themselves. And now,
Mm-hmm.
how do we do that? What are the key principles of global food sovereignty? How can that be done? We talk about uh, empowering local producers. We already talked about that. Prioritizing the rights of small farmers, fishers, and indigenous people over large agricultural uh, farms, so they
Mm-hmm.
can produce and sell food locally, produce
Yes.
locally and sell locally. And then we talk about sustainable agriculture,
Mm-hmm.
using farming methods that are ecologically sound and culturally respectful to protect the land
Amen.
for future generations. We don't go and contaminate the land because we are so greedy. We want to just produce in bulk and sell and hoard the money. No, you respect that land. Don't go and put chemicals in people's land that when you grow your food, it's not going to do well after you leave. Don't go and be offering seeds to people that when they plant the seeds, they cannot have seeds from that planting. They keep buying and buying and buying. That is
Mm-hmm.
not promoting food sovereignty, and therefore we're not helping our children to grow.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Yeah.
not doing that. You know, we need to do, because when you do things, ladies and gentlemen, we don't understand. When you do things the right way, you see an influx, an overflow of what you desire because you're doing it for the good reason. Those things will come. You don't have to taint somebody's land. You don't have
Mm-hmm.
to see somebody's land. You don't have to exploit somebody to do that. Just do the right thing, and you will see the goodness of God in your life. This is
Amen.
what we're talking about here. We talk about democratic control, ensuring that decisions about food policies. When I talk about democratic control, I'm trying to help all of us understand. But for me, where I grow up, I would talk about the royal control, chieftaincy control, because the our laws, they go not between the government and the royalties, so that they can make the best decision. You can't make a decision based on an area without knowing about that area. And how does the government know about that area? Through the royalties, the indigenes, through the chindas, through a lot of the other people that work on behalf of the village, the towns, and the children. This is so
Yes.
important. That is why it takes a village to raise, love, and educate a child. And this is
Yes.
exactly what we are talking about here. So, democratic control means ensuring that decisions about food policies and systems are made by the people and communities, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
who depend on them rather than by corporate or foreign interest.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yes.
cannot pretend to go and make a decision for some people when you don't know their culture, you don't know their way of life, you don't know how they eat, you don't know their soil, you don't know their customs and traditions. and you don't even want to invest in the interest of the children and the mothers. That will be so wrong. You cannot
Mm-hmm.
pretend to know. You can only know in your area, and then the other people will know in their area, and together we bring this knowledge together so that we can teach our children, and then food sovereignty would be a win-win and a dream come true for all of us. That is very,
Mm-hmm.
very important. Then we talk about cultural relevance, allowing people to grow and consume foods that reflect their traditions and meet their dietary needs. You don't
Mm-hmm.
know my body. I don't know your body. It's only your the parents know the bodies of their children. Sometimes they don't know. In the case where they don't know, we have doctors that have been trained, dietitians that have been trained to do those things. Then we go and consult and ask questions. But it starts from the home, because what we are eating today in our various communities, it's been there for generations. You talk about generations in my family. It's been there for more than 900 years that we have to feed the community, feed women and children, and that is what we do. And we are happy doing that. And when you do that, things just come from nowhere. And and that's a good thing. And this, you're not just feeding them, but you're also teaching them so that they can own their own. Because when you just feed people, you don't teach them, you're not helping them. You're not helping to uh to maintain or to promote food sovereignty. So talk about food as a human right.
Yes.
Food is a human right.
Mm-hmm.
It is the right for our children to eat and to eat healthy food. It's the right for our children to ask to eat healthily. It's the right of our children to ask to grow something. Recognizing that access to healthy, affordable food is a basic human right,
It is.
not a privilege.
Yeah.
It's not a privilege dependent on market condition. No, we should not use food to exploit our children. If you exploit the children, you're also exploiting their parents.
Of
You
course.
exploit the parents, you're also exploiting the children. So we can do better than this. And there are so many ways that we can do better. So the global food sovereignty is to create resilient food systems that provide fair, healthy, dignified, safe, and sustainable food options for all, addressing issues of hunger, food security, food shortages, and food wastage and inequality on a global scale. This is very, very important. And if we understand this, you'll be happy that you did. But it starts with us, the parents, the adults around these children. So, how can the One Global movement, as a global village, ensure food sovereignty to better the lives of hungry children, hungry women, and hungry young people? Ensuring food, ensuring global food sovereignty for the betterment of children, young people, and women, it requires a multifaceted approach. This means that it employs a lot of ways, not one, because one, two, three, five cannot feed. It can't feed everybody in the world. So we
Mm-hmm.
need to go according to all the regions in the world, respecting their soil, respecting their scenery, respecting their way of eating, respecting the way of cultivating food. So, number one, empowering local farmers and producers. How do we do that? We support local farmers, we said it before, especially women and young people, by providing resources, farm tools, seeds, like the seed program we have here, training, and funding to cultivate sustainable agriculture. Sustainable means that will go a long way. Even when we are long gone, it will still be here to continue to feed. So these include investing in agroecological methods that
Yeah.
work harmoniously with nature and reduce dependence on chemical inputs.
Mm-hmm.
Nature is there. Nobody should fool you. Things work with nature. If we are doing for the right reason, we do it according to nature. But if we are doing for the wrong reason, we want to produce en masse. And when people eat, they get sick. So we do it for the right reason, and nature is there. It's been positioned. The animals you see me playing around with, they're there for a reason. And I must not kill them, even though if I can kill some, we leave some to continue to work for the
Yeah.
environment, for the betterment of food sovereignty. So now we're ensuring land rights and fair policies. Remember, we just said, don't see somebody's land that doesn't belong to you. Don't go to a place where these people have built their homes, they've been living there for generations, they're cultivating their food, they're educating their children using that land. You go there because you think that you are the big farmer or you have the money. You just go and buy and push those people away from their land. That is not okay. It's not right for anybody. This is not good for any child. So many communities face land insecurity. And I say that is in my village. I've seen it. I've seen it. I'm not just saying it from other places. Many people face land insecurity, which makes it challenging for them to practice sustainable farming. Why is the land insecure? If land is yours, shouldn't it be secured by the laws? And so nobody comes after your own land and take away
Mhm.
food production. So advocating for policies, we need to advocate for policies that protect land ownership and access rights, especially for marginalized groups, marginalized communities. This is very essential. And strong land rights help communities grow food sustainably and support the health and wealth of future generations. And the next point is education on sustainable agriculture. Education, education, education. Whatever we are doing here, if we don't pass it on to the next generation through education, it's not going to work. And education here doesn't just necessarily mean classroom. What I learned from my grandmother and my mother and the parents of my village was not in classroom. It is like in action, doing in action, word of mouth and action. And I got it. And that is helping me here a lot. When I went to the Women Environmental Institute, when they invited me there, and they were telling me, you read this, you read this, you read this before you do this. And what I did, we carried out a conversation, very healthy conversation for a while. And they said, oh, we're probably going to learn from you. You know a lot that we don't know, because some of the things is not like you have to go and get certification to do it. Learn from those that came before you. The
Mhm.
school, skip the school of hard knowledge and learn from your parents, learn from
Yeah.
other people. So these things are interconnected, you know. So
Yeah.
empower communities with knowledge, knowledge that is practical knowledge, not just reading books, not just theoretical, but practical knowledge, application, the not kind of knowledge that you put it to action to work for you right now. Knowledge on sustainable practices like crop rotation. I knew about crop rotation, seed dispersal from my grandparents. Imagine it's in the book, but they said, you see, these seeds are growing here because the birds they disperse those seeds. You see, the rivers they disperse the seeds, and that's why you have it. You know. And then when I read in the book, I said, Grandma, how did you know that? Say, but that's the way it's been. That's the way
Yeah.
it's been. That is to say, not everything you have to go by the book. Learn it from your parents or those that you can learn from. There are mentors out there that you can learn from them. And so, sustainable practices like crop rotation, uh, permaculture, and organic farming. Organic farming is so important. And I apply and I use that a lot. Teaching young people these skills can foster a generation that values food security, respects the land, and understands the impact of their choices. And when you educate a child the right way, they will understand the impact of their choices. They will know which one to choose first and which one to choose next and the next. Or they will know which one to leave that does not resonate with their gift, then to go after what will help them. This is what it means, you know. Don't take something that you're going to waste it. It will help
Mhm.
them not to waste food. They will take just the portion that they can eat and leave the rest. And that is why we call for family time dinner, where we put food in a big bowl, beautiful bowls. If you're like me, I eat in wooden bowls and wouldn't use wooden spoons because those are healthy. just set the table. Everybody can we say our grace before meals, and we dish our portions from the main dish, so that when we are done, we didn't finish it. Then we take the rest. We have refrigerators. We put them there, and we want to also make sure that we share with the communities. Encourage
Mhm.
children to share their food with those that are unable to produce it for themselves to maintain food sovereignty, because not everybody is going to be able to farm or to do gardening because of one reason or the other, but there are always ways to maintain and really promote food sovereignty. So investing in nutrition and food literacy, we're going to be having a program on all of this here in One Global Movement, so that these children, all of us, because some of us, we don't know at our ages, we don't know. And so learning is a lifelong thing. We're going to keep learning. Even the one that I know, I'm still learning and adding on top of the one that I know, depending on this
Yes,
environment. Depending
yes,
on this environment, every environment you're going
yes.
to learn. So,
Mhm.
food literacy programs to educate families, children on nutrition, the benefits of diverse diets, the benefits of different colors. You have the lettuce that is somehow like maroon color. You have the green one. You have the yellow fruit. You have this. All those colors are there for a reason, you know.
Yeah.
And the
Mhm.
value of traditional food practices. You're gonna see me. I will show you some of my traditional food here that I made, handmade, grated. I didn't buy a machine, and it's one of the delicacies in Cameroon in my culture, and it's made with
Yes.
vegetables that I also produce, you know. So this is particularly powerful for women who often play a central role in family food choices,
Yeah.
thereby shaping the health of their families and their community. We women, although they say we are meant for the kitchen, everybody's meant for the kitchen, but by nature, the woman is the one that also always wants to put food, healthy food together for the family so that the
Yeah.
children can eat healthily. And we are really grateful for that. And then
Mhm.
community-led initiatives, encourage community-led initiatives. I was part of a community last summer. You saw me in the garden with people, more than 300. We are gardening together, we are sharing, they are helping, and then seeds, we are discussing about seeds, we are doing things together. You saw, we are hauling the natural manure given to us for
Mhm.
free, you know. So encouraging community gardens, local markets, and cooperatives that allow women and young people. One of the things that I tried to do in Cameroon was to open a farmers cooperative, but those people, some of them are thieves. They didn't do it. They took the money and they swallowed it. It didn't work. And I kept quiet. I said, no worries. We'll come there later on, you know. So,
Yes.
and now these farmers cooperative that allow women and young people to participate in local food production. It starts locally, it starts from the home. You can't
Yeah.
just go to large scale without starting from here. So these initiatives build resilience by ensuring access to fresh. This is fresh, okay? I have some fresh here. You're seeing the lettuce here. I stay with example and I grow some of that. Ensuring fresh, affordable, and culturally appropriate food while reducing dependency on global food chains. If every economy, every society, every nation is taught food sovereignty, we will depend on us instead of exploiting other people for our own benefit. We will
Yeah.
not have to be fighting. Remember, a lot of the wars that are going on in the world because of land property. And
Yeah.
if we can just learn how to grow our own foods locally, we will help our children and our communities. Then there will be no need to fight for something that is not ours, right? So this is very, very important. So advocating for gender equality in agriculture. Women make up a significant portion of the agricultural workforce, but often lack access to the same resources as men. This is so true. I've been trying for years to get land here, and nobody's telling me anything. And I know that
Mhm.
resources are there. But I'm
Mhm.
not up. It's been more than 7 years. I'm still going to keep trying until I get
Of
it.
course.
So,
Of course.
by addressing these disparities, we empower women to contribute fully to food sovereignty efforts, benefiting both their families and their community and even the entire world. So supporting policies for fair trade, advocate for fair trade policies that allow farmers, even small scale farmers, to receive just compensation, compensation that is just, not just any kind of compensation for their work, especially in child labor where they go and pay like a dime or a quarter for a child to toil for the whole day, and you're not helping this child to educate themselves, you're not helping them to live happily in their homes, you're not helping them to feed well, but you're helping to really just ruin them. But child labor is ugly, and we see it around the world. So we need to compensate workers well, enabling them to invest in sustainable practices and support their families. This provides economic stability and motivates young people to consider agriculture as a reliable and viable way of life. This is very, very important, you know. Like if one global movement is opening up a farm, whatever we are doing, don't just bring people to come and work for you for life. Try what is it that they love to do, and then you invest in them so that they can also own something of for themselves and their families. And this is how it is being done. When you do that, you will continue to get great workers, and you continue to make sure everybody owns their own. Maybe taking like if you're paying them maybe bi-weekly, it's an arrangement and a policy, and you have them know, educate them. Okay, I'm going to take $100 out of your paycheck and keep. You're not just keeping, you're investing it for them so that when time comes, they already have that, and you can help them to really establish what is it that they like to. Maybe it's a small scale agricultural farming, maybe it's a mechanic workshop, maybe it's education for children. Whatever we can do that. And then the next point is to strengthen local food systems against climate challenges. Climate is also another one, but there are ways that we can help with that. Given the impact of climate change, strengthening the resilience of food system is critical. Invest in drought resistant crops, alternative water conservation techniques, and policies that support local farmers in adapting to climate shift. There's always those things there. And today, nowadays, with this high technology, it is vast. There is nothing that we cannot do. If we just put our mind to it, we can do everything. And so by focusing these strategies, we can build, we all can come together and build a foundation for global food sovereignty that nourishes future generations, uplifts women and young people, and promotes self sustaining, resilient communities ready to take on the world. So thank you guys so much for listening. We will be coming from to this again and again because there are a lot of things to talk about here. We heard about our brother Smart, who was also going around and talking about freeze drying to uh, to to really prevent food wastage. Freeze drying, One Global Movement is considering that highly because we want to get one of those machines. And when we have the One Global Movement store, it is there so that people don't throw away, don't waste it. There is some place for you to come and put it. If you can't afford for the machine, you come and put there and pay a little fee so that the food stays there. You either can share with other communities that lack it, export the food to somewhere where they don't have the food or they don't have the means to preserve the food. Then we can do like that. That will be a very wonderful thing for us to do. So sister, thank you for contributing and listening. If you have any other thing you can add on to that, otherwise I'm going to just say hello to our audience because I got to get out of here quickly.
Of course. So I have a quote that says, "The true measure of a society's progress lies not in its economic growth alone, but in how it ensures food justice for all its citizens."
Mhm.
And this is from one Vandana Shiva. She is an author of many, many books, but she's also a physicist, ecologist, activist, editor, and she's also fighting diligently, if you want to call it that. She's the founder of something called Navdanya. It's a movement for biodiversity, conservation, and farmers' rights. So she's talking about definitely food sovereignty. And some people might not get what it is. So food sovereignty is a powerful and innovative concept that was coined in 1996 by La Vie Campesana. It's a global movement of farmers. So it's the farmers. They know about the land to
Mm-hmm.
describe their vision of a better food future, right?
Yeah.
It's something that has to happen at the grassroots level, on the ground. People can't just go in with machines and tell you do this and do that. As you say, it's community and it's local.
Mm-hmm.
This is what you have to know what can be grown there and stop spoiling the soil. And you have to know about rotation.
Mm-hmm.
It's important not to deplete the soil to the end. Give
Yeah.
it a rest. Don't cut down all the trees, work around them.
Oh,
But when you
yes.
have those machines, you don't do that. You just want to clear a path and to hell with the rest of the world. We need the trees as well. The trees are part of what we live with.
Mm-hmm.
So that is why I only look for groups or organizations. One is called Acumen. I love them because they never do anything without going there, hands on, feet on the ground, looking before. And they have lots of money to spend. But the
Mm-hmm.
thing is, they know you can't just go in there and say, hey, or do this. You got to know what the area is. And that's why community and local farming is so important. I know that it seems that we can't get back to that because the huge conglomerates just want to make a whole area where everything is grown. It's not going to work like that. Everything doesn't come from everywhere,
Mm-mm.
right? The Caribbean grows different things. Even in the Caribbean Isles, most of us have different crops. So
Yes.
we barter whatever it is. It's how it was meant to be. No place can grow everything. It cannot be done.
Yep.
You have to know the soil you're growing in, just like our minds.
Yep.
Everybody has a different kind of mind that they're operating with. So that's my contribution. You cover the rest of it. And the Bible speaks about that food should be for everybody everywhere, but it doesn't say every food is everywhere. It doesn't
Yep.
say that.
No.
You have to know what you're working with. But we're not taking balance again. We're not taking the time to know what we're working with.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem that we have, and that's what's causing. And even the climate change or whatever it is they want to call it, it's all a man-made thing.
Yep.
It's not a natural thing. The
Mm-mm.
world has always been warming up and cooling down. So
Yep.
that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about playing around with the weather. We know they're doing that in certain countries because they can.
Mm-hmm.
And
Because they
so they're
can.
just decimating this earth. And it's going to be a few, supposedly, who will suffer, and the rest of us, I don't know what will happen.
Yep.
The few that will survive, I should say, and they know what they're doing. But what about the greater human community? What about that?
Yep.
We have no power
Nope.
unless we make it our own and join with those who are trying. Activism is very, very much on the rise, and I can see why. Sometimes I used to think every group has an activist group going on with it, but you need to, because food, as you say, is essential. You can't leave the children hungry. How will they function?
Mm-hmm.
Can't leave ourselves hungry. How will we function? We need food and clean
Yep.
water and air. Those are
Yep.
basics. So we have to get moving, Dr. Mundih. We have to get moving.
We,
One
we
global
yes,
movement.
yes, we have to get moving. There's no stopping. The
No,
only time we can stop is when we take our last breath. But by then, God would have helped us to empty out ourselves into these children, and then we can.
absolutely. Yeah,
I'm so
absolutely.
happy. I'll be waiting for those resources. No doubt that you're supporting clean water programs all around the world. And
It's
when
my
you talk
first support.
about
Yes. Yeah.
those authors, those that went before us, and all of
Yeah.
what they are doing, you will know that supporting clean water projects is the number one part of food sovereignty.
It has to
We've
be.
got
Yeah.
to. We've got to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Water. Every plant, everything needs water. And this is so important. And so I would like you to give me the names and resources. I like to go and read about those people, because when we read about their biographies and their works, then we know how to do better. Because these things are natural. They're just talking about the natural existence and the natural way of doing things, which the world is tampering with everything. When you tamper with something that is beyond your own knowledge, only the knowledge of nature, it becomes a deterrent to
Yes, and you're using all the words, sister. You say natural but respectful, because do not assume that you know better from somebody that you've never met, You've never gone into the community. You don't understand why they're doing what they're doing and why they're doing something this way when you might think it's a better way. But they will tell you, this is what the soil will give, this is what it needs. We've been living here for hundreds of years, they will tell you, right? You
Yeah.
cannot go in there and know how they should now change things and what the repercussions will be. And this is
No.
what I see happening with a lot of NGOs or whatever you want to call them, these people who go in with their great ideas. Maybe it's a great idea for somewhere else, but it's not a great idea for this particular
Yeah,
community.
yeah. You can force your things on people, not just the NGOs. A lot of missions that are carried out, they go there, they're trying to change people's way of life. And that's not right. Who told you
No.
that your way of life is the best? Who told you that your way of life is the worst? No
Yes.
one. Let people be the way that they are. They are the way that they are for a reason.
Or
You
at least collaborate with them, sister.
can,
Collaborate so you can know how to adjust what you're coming with, because everything takes, we were born for fellowship, as you say,
yes.
and collaboration. Do not go in with the attitude that, you failed, you don't know what you're doing after all these years, and I'm just going to suddenly come in and fix it. It doesn't work like that.
Well,
It's
if
not.
you go and suddenly fix it, it's not going to last because they don't know that your sudden fix at all. They don't know it unless, like you say, in collaboration and we learn from one another,
Yes,
respecting one another,
yes,
let them
yes,
be. And then we learn new things together and then we
absolutely.
move on together. This is what we're doing here in One Global Movement because I would not be able, even talking about choices, you can't give children choices when I'm the only one here. No,
Exactly.
it doesn't work that way.
It's
Or
not.
maybe it's only two of us. Two is not a choice. Three is not even choices. There are
No, no, no.
zillion
Yeah,
of
no,
choices in the world
yeah,
that God
yeah,
has created for us to give our children. And
absolutely.
thank God we're going to continue. And we can't even stop. How are you going to be happy? You
You
can be happy.
can't. No, you can't. No,
I
you
will
can't.
not never be happy because it was done for me, and I am happy and healthy. I need to do it for others as well. We will continue, and when I'm sick, then I will get well. But thank God I've never been sick except by the coronavirus. That's when I was sick.
Yes, yes, yes.
So otherwise, I'm okay. So we thank God for strength. We thank God for health. We thank God for all these resources that are coming our way, so that we can continue to help children, young people, and women worldwide. So I'm going to present some very beautiful green pictures here to support
Mm-hmm.
food sovereignty. Let me go
Okay.
share screen. Share. What's up? And okay, sister, you let me know if you see it. Okay, do you see that?
I do see it. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is right from my village. I was taught very little to do this. We grater it. We have a little grater or the big one with the hand. Everything is done by hand. And but nowadays there are machines. People use machines, but I still long to do things with my hands a lot. So it's cocoyam. You grater it. You see those leaves there. You can either use sweet bitter leaves or you use turnip greens or you use other like spinach, all those very healthy vegetable. You just you wrap it in there. You can freeze it, you can cook it fresh, and then you cook it with smoked fish. You cook it with palm oil mixed with olive oil. You put your crayfish. You spice it to taste, but this is so expensive, and it's one of the delicacies in Cameroon. And
Ah.
Black Yoga movement is using it to raise money. I go to the
Mm-hmm.
market, I buy the cocoyams, and we do it, and we're going to keep climbing higher and higher. We
Of
can't
course.
sit and want to help children, and we don't raise the resources that we need. We need to
Yeah.
do it. And so
Yeah.
that is one of the things that we are doing. And
Mm-hmm.
let me go here. I show you. This is one of the some of the vegetables that we use. This is mustard greens.
Oh, mustard
Very
green.
think
Yes.
about the mustard seed. These are
Yes.
mustard greens. They're
Mustard
very,
green.
very healthy.
Yes.
And
Yes.
then you can see, like me, the local farmer right there, going down to her knees and really doing what is needed so that our children can eat healthily. So that is so important. Still, this is another.
Nice.
Those are other
Oh,
mustard green, very nice. And these sizes are very good for that. That dish is called ekwan in the
acorn.
traditional dialect.
Acorn. Acorn.
And
Okay.
someday we will cook and eat together. You'll be happy that you.
Mm-hmm.
So Now let's go here. You see this? This is bitter leaf right behind our home. I planted it last season, and we harvested it. You can also use this. This is bitter leaf. It works miracles in your system. It's also a natural enema. I'm saying
Uh-huh.
it not by the doctor, by me and my
Your
parents,
experience,
yes,
yes. Mm-hmm.
generations to generations. And it's
Mm-hmm.
also used to produce capsule. It's called bitter leaf capsules. They produce it here in the United States as well. So they do that.
Okay.
And then you see this. This is part of one global movement, land in Cameroon, where we're going to start the poultry farm and the library. It might be
Is-
little now, but we're going to expand it. You see the plantain? Plantain leaves are very
Oh,
healthy.
it's plantain. I was gonna say it's banana, but it's
Yeah,
plantain. Okay.
plantain and banana look this almost alike.
Yes, they
You
do.
see
They do.
cocoyam, yes. And this place is so fertile. Wasi is the one that is working there. Other people are soon going to join him. And this is what we are doing so that when we start, every child will be rich, will have
Good.
resources. And
Mm-hmm.
then this is, I want to show you this. This is fruit, watermelon. You saw this over and over last harvesting
Yes.
season. And so
Yes.
it's all grown organically. I tell you, you don't need to do so much work. When you prepare your land, you plant,
Yeah. Yeah.
be happy. And a lot of our community people here, even in the hospital where my son was born, I went to the nursery and I gave them some to the women there so they can eat because they need that to be healthy in order to breastfeed their babies. And you
Absolutely.
see, these
Yes.
tomatoes too are from here.
Ah,
You see
pretty.
the habanero yellow pepper right here, and
Mm-hmm.
you see some of it here. So some of it here. So that's nice. And then
Good.
I will show you this. This is au village. Au village in French means in the village, born and bred in the village. And then
Village.
this is if you're talking about wine. They produce wine from grapes, wine from this. This is the natural local wine.
Wow.
It's produced from the raffia bamboo. We have it. I know how to do it. My father taught me, and I saw my mom and my grandmother and other people doing. My uncle was doing it. I always went around with Uncle John. Uncle John taught me a lot of things. So
Yes.
you see, that wine is so sweet and so nice, but it is all natural, no sugars added. But when if you don't want to give it to children, uh,
No.
no, you can give it to children at all, but only adults can drink, and you drink just how it can feed you, but it's natural, it's healthy. And then
Wow.
we talk about this sour salt. You see this
Mm-hmm.
beautiful seeds right there. It is grown in tropical Africa, it's grown on the islands as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
And this is very, very healthy and very medicinal. And you need to try it. I drink their leaves right now, the soursop leaves. I drink it right
Mm-hmm.
now for tea.
I
Very
do too. Yeah. I do
yes.
too. Yeah.
And these seeds, you can plant them, you can grind them and just boil it like coffee and you still drink. My father owned a plantation and my grandfather owned plantations of these sour salt, coffee, and the cocoa and all of those things. So it's very, very important. And then here, papaya, pawpaw, we call it
Ah.
we have
Mm-hmm.
it all over. In the orchard,
Yes.
I planted my own in Cameroon when I was still little. And we have it all over. It is very healthy. All of these fruits, the world is so vast and open, and things
Yeah.
can come to
I
your
know.
fingertips with this high technology. Just go and Google what are
Yeah.
the food importance of pawpaw or the other fruit or
Yes. Yes.
yes, you will
Yes.
see even the African baobab. A lot of things you will be happy. And then look at this.
Absolutely.
This is
Mm.
salad that I made last summer from my garden. Okay.
Wow.
The
Yes.
cheese, I bought the cheese. But you see the strawberries, I grew those and they're still here. They are so winter resistant that next year I don't have to plant anymore. They will just come.
Ah, very
Yes,
nice.
just grow.
Yes.
So you do it for once, it sustain you for a long time. So we've been harvesting it for 3 years now. This is what is called food sovereignty. And you do it according to the land and it sustains you for a long, long time. So
Nice.
I'm just showing this so that all of us we know what we are talking about here. It is
Yes.
so important for all of us, and let us all support food sovereignty so that we can sustain and help our children to grow healthy and ourselves, beginning with ourselves. So thank you
Yes.
guys so much. I'm
Absolutely.
gonna
Thank you, Dr. Mundih. Thank you for showing us that. Thank you.
yes, I just want to say I thank the old members and new members that are joining, because we will not be reading a lot of things, so that I'm always on the go doing things, so that we don't. I have an appointment here for One Global Movement soon, so that we can go. But I know that our arts director is here, Kushal. How are you? We miss you, but you're here, and I know that you're doing great things for yourself and your family. So thank you, and thanks to our beautiful big sister here, Sister Yvonne, for everything that you're doing.
Thank you.
Nancy, B. Blow, KB Roy, thank you so much. I thank everyone that is here. Sir Abdul Sattar, thank you so much, sir, for always supporting our children. Roaz
Mhm.
Ehab, thank you so much for being here. And we have uh, Jaffa Elizaka Mondal. Sorry about that. I will pronounce your name well next time. Thank you so much for supporting children worldwide. And of course, we have the most handsome boy in the world, Mr. Momodu Jallo. And
Yes.
I was talking about Sierra Leone the other day, and with one Sierra Leonean friend that will be coming here sometimes in the future to speak here. And she is inviting me to Sierra Leone so that we can know what we can grow there together. So, thank you so much for supporting us, sir. We highly appreciate you. Thank you, Gutam, for your support and your love for children. Thank you to Saeed Islam. Thank you, Maria Joss. I am really so grateful for you all. And our managing director, of course, is always here. Thank you so much, John. Keep doing the work that you're doing, and God will bless your soul. Thank you so much for supporting everyone here. And let's go down here. Okay, if I miss any name, please let me know.
I will.
Then we have Cynthia Daring. Thank you so much, Cynthia. How are you? Thank you for joining us here today. We highly appreciate you.
Mhm.
And let's go down here. Uh, okay. And we have Mahesh Kabil. If you're new here, sir, you're welcome into this global family for children and young people and women. We highly appreciate you. Let us all encourage everyone. We want to share the gospel of One Global Movement to every corner of the globe, because everybody deserves to know what we are doing here, so that their community and their homes and their families can be represented well. If you don't spread it, you are bringing your own community down. We want every child, every young person, and every woman to be rich when we start with One Global Movement. We are building the
Mhm.
foundation, and building a foundation requires all of us, so that we build it according to our area, according to how we do things, our way of life, customs, and traditions. So, this is what it entails, so that when we are reaching a child, they will be confident to receive us. So thank you guys so much. Keep spreading the message to everyone. It takes time to build a solid foundation. We cannot rush, because things that concern children are things that have to be done with care, with balance, with respect, with safety, with integrity, and with love. So we need all of that, and we need everyone here. Thank you.
Dr. Mundih, I think you call Queen Nancy? I don't think you did. Did you? She's
Not
here.
Oh, Nancy. Okay. I'm keeping
Yeah.
you for the last, Nancy.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I didn't, but yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't call. I don't know why. So, Jivan Turkey, thank you so much, sir, for being here with us today. We highly appreciate you. And now I can go back to our beautiful Nancy, because she will not let us be free, right? Now, families, you know who is going to be saying that, right? Reminding
Yeah.
us to press the big thumbs up. Press the big thumbs up, ring that bell, subscribe if not yet done so. Turn on the notification bell and share with families and friends. Thank you so
Yes.
much, Nancy. We cannot miss you, right? Otherwise,
Yes.
we'll hear from you. So thank you
Mm.
guys so much. And thank you for supporting me. Let us continue to put our hands together. And for everyone, let me just put this link here, please. If you have not already done so, if you're supporting children, this is one of the easiest ways to start doing it. You go here on the One Global Movement Facebook page, and you like it and you follow. Please let us build this resource. Every resource, no matter how small or big, we need it. We need it
Yes.
because if you give
Mhm.
one global movement $250 billion today, I don't think it will be enough to
No,
really
it will.
really help children in the world, especially those that have already been tinted. They are going through some serious challenges that we need to put all our resources and all hands on deck.
Absolutely.
So
Yes.
thank you so much for putting that link there. And
Mhm.
thank you guys so much. We're not going to be reading everything, but you all are highly appreciated here because
Yes.
I need to always be on the go so that action should be on grounds. And we also are inspiring one another here because we take this inspiration and put it into action. This is what I've been doing. And sometimes you see me cram up in my car. Sometimes the internet is disturbing me somewhere. But all of those, we welcome them because it is part of the process.
It
So
is.
thank you
Thank
guys
you.
so much. Thank you,
Mhm.
Sister Yvonne, again. Tomorrow
Mhm.
is Friday. Let us come here and we're going to be talking next week and probably sometimes spend some time talking about men's health, both the older and our young boys. We're going to be doing that
Yes.
too as well because this is Men's Wellness Month, November.
Amen.
And so we're going to
Yes.
be talking about that. And then reading is also, let us read, please. Read for yourself. Read with children. Read. No matter how small, 5 minutes, one page, read. It will
Yes.
help. So thank you
Absolutely.
so much. We are so in
In
it
it to
to
win
win
it. Yes, good
it.
time. We are. Thank you.
We love you. And until
Yes.
tomorrow, we say bye
Bye
bye.
bye.